Hello, welcome to Closet Coaching. The concept of allowing all foods is one that is inevitably talked about in any recovery space, in non-diet recovery spaces. And I was thinking about it because I think so often it can be manipulated. And hands raised, like I did that at one point a couple of times prior to actually recovering, where I used this idea of allowing all foods and letting myself eat whatever I wanted as more of just an excuse to binge when that was convenient for me. So, for example, I actually had a lot more mental restriction going on, even though I said I was letting myself eat whatever I wanted. That really just meant I was allowing myself to eat some more things, but really had a ceiling of how much weight I was allowed to gain through that process and how much, like a reasonable amount, really meant. I still had these rules. And so when I would move into a binge, inevitably, because there was this restriction going on that I wouldn't have called restriction, but was, I would just say, well, I'm allowing all foods. And then I would just turn my mind off and binge and just park it in this whole, cocoon of I'm allowed, which is really just using it as an excuse to binge. But then outside of the binges, there was still this pseudo permission. And my actual recovery happened at a point where I was actually ready for it. And I don't know that I could have gotten there. I couldn't have willed that readiness. It just happened. But the difference became consciously eating throughout my day and eating without a ceiling and eating without an expectation of what that needed to look like, with presence. So it was, yes, being allowed to eat whatever I wanted, but consciously. There was no numbing out because I didn't need to, because I wasn't avoiding the reality of that. It was just yes, I expect that I will gain weight through this process, and I expect that I will eat a lot more food than I think I should be, and I'm meeting that. I'm looking that in the eye, and in that, when you're looking something in the eye, it's really hard to binge because you don't get the chance to turn your brain off and numb out. And I just think it's an important distinction. As best as I can explain it in a closet coaching. But there is a difference between allowing all foods and allowing yourself to binge. Okay, see you tomorrow.